Welcome back, guys, to Trails Through Daybreak, where last episode, sweeping part of the artisanal district with Katra with us after the rescue, we came across Bracer Alvis mediating a dispute between two RC car racing kids after intervening to help one of them overcome the other, leading Van to coach the now losing racer in an RC car showdown. Having boarded the Aerotram, we now enter the Institute. Here we are, the Basel Institute of Science, the place where much of the Republic's most cutting-edge research gets done. It's situated in such a beautiful location too. The views of the canyon from here are just stunning. Yeah, this area is supposed to be popular with tourists for exactly that reason, though even they need a card right now. This isn't that bad of a spot to sightsee, I guess, but there's no real place to live it up in town. Oh, speaking of tourism, what's that rounded building over there? I've been wondering this whole time. That's the Astronomy Observatory. That's a place where you look at the stars, right? That's right. There's a very powerful telescope there that lets you see far more of them than you could with the naked eye. There are many who believe that astronomy is the discipline from which all others draw their roots, even if others disagree. It actually originated in the Central East, if you didn't know. Oh, really? Pretty sure they were big on stargazing in that fallen empire to the east back in the day, too. This is turning out to be very educational. Huh. So where would you like to start? I'd be happy to show you around if you want. That's fine. We're just going to wander around for a while and see what we find. If you could tell us where the main facilities and research labs are, that'd be plenty. Well, if you're sure, they're marked on the building's map already, but here you go. Well then, I've got work of my own to take care of, so I'll get going for now. If anything comes up, you're always welcome to contact me on my cipher. Thanks. Oh, I was hoping we could stay with him longer. He knows so many cool things. I feel the same way, but it would be difficult. Yeah, he's just going to get in the way when we start poking our noses around in dark places. I doubt we're going to get any new 4 SPGs here, but here's hoping we can learn more about this abusive professor, wherever they are. Let's get to work. Remember to act casual and not make it obvious what we're here for. Understood. Hello, we're here to investigate the abuse. Oh, failed at the first hurdle. Right, a few places to visit, a shop as well, which lots of people crowding around it. A bracer too. Hey Alvis, any luck with that job I gave you?
This is the Aerotram.
Wait, you're still not done? What were you taking care of some kids? I mean, okay, I guess that's fair. Anyway, I've got another job for you. Yeah, I saw somebody looking suspicious out on the edge of town. Could you have a look around and see if you find anything? Thanks, give Vagina my regards too. No need to go overboard, it might just be nothing, but better safe than sorry, of course. I'll head back to the guild in about 30. Okay, got it. You can fill me in once you get back. I guess I can't see suspicious person from here.
Well,
I'm interested in this.
Please have your authentication card ready and follow the instructions.
Yes, but you ain't gonna wait for us. Oh yeah, but I'm checking it out because it says check.
let's see what we've got.
Doesn't look like there's any good info here. No 4 SPGs. And now we can enter. I thought Athena might be here by now, but nope. No sign of her. She's a shy one is the thing. I was hoping it'd go smoothly since the higher-ups are all on board of it, but evidently not. I guess she's nervous, but really, there's nothing for her to worry about. She needs to just relax. Though she did say she was working on some other project too. Maybe she's just really busy. Is there any more of the grounds I can check out? I mean, I can, but there's no one to speak to. The net is pretty widespread now, but international calls still have a lot of kinks to work out. It can make meetings a bit difficult. We're working with Vern to make a new comms protocol that maximizes bandwidth and makes those long-distance calls easier. was hoping Athena would be here by now, but she might be busy with something else. Maybe I should send her a message just in case. Gotta love the oval net being spread wide and far, as in more sets of veins across the world, as in more things to meddle with, in the way that we've seen them meddle with before.
This campus is just as big as I expected.
Let's take a look around. Gotta check out all the spots that kid mentioned.
Welcome to the Basel Institute of Science. Are you here to speak with researchers or students here? We're a bit busier than usual, pardon us. We have a number of students visiting at the moment, but if there's anything I can help you with, please do let me know. I was going to say, do not let me know. I don't want to bother with it. The way behind me leads to the special research building. That building's off limits, I'm afraid. The Institute conducts confidential research there. If you have any business with the staff inside, the guard there will be happy to help you. So that's where we need to get, and that's probably a B rank. That actually sounds like it'd be more like an A rank, to be fair. Professor Cronkite's theses are like these windows into the future. It's crazy how smart he is. His foresight really helps him get ahead of the curve and develop new technologies before people even realize they need them. I doubt I'll ever be half the scholar he is, but I really want to learn what I can from him all the same. That factory is a relic of the past. It has nothing to do with me, and I have no reason to cling to it. Oof. I wish Dad wasn't so darn stubborn. What I'm saying is he should be more forward-thinking. But no, he's always trying to push the factory onto me, trying to tie me down to his old business. Time marches on. If he doesn't get with the times, I'll leave him behind. Or maybe he's saying, go ahead and march with this. Do your thing with this place. Oh, hello everyone. I didn't think I'd run into all of you here. We just finished touring the Epstein Foundation and ZCF branches here, so now we're taking a brief tour of the Institute. There's really not much we can do though, since we can't attend any of the lectures here. Being honest, it's rather boring. Boring for you maybe, you sound like you already know about a lot of the stuff here. We're not as encyclopedic as you know? All this Epstein and ZCF stuff is brand new to me. She's just full of secrets, isn't she? But hey, we got to see and learn some really cool stuff because of it. Ren said she might have something extra special for us after we're done here too. Might is the key word, mind. I can't make any promises. What does she mean by that? Beats me. I'm not too worried about her. Let her do her thing and let us do ours. The Epstein Foundation was really something special. Got to hear lots of interesting stories at the ZCF branch too. Ren said that her best friend works there even. She has so many of those connections. It's really mysterious, but hey, I'm not complaining. You did promise me earlier, but I can't guarantee it will happen just yet. You never know with how plans can change. Still, I can hardly think of a place in Basel I'm more interested in, so it's worth a shot. So, how's everything been going on your end, Agnès? If it all gets to be too much, you can join back up with us, okay? Miss Perfect is more popular too, Thanks, Albert, but I'm fine right now, honestly. Well, alright. Glad to hear that. I worry sometimes. There's some dangerous stuff out there, so don't go charging into all of that, okay? We'll always be here for you.
So...
I've been exterminating monsters on the highway. I have been attacked by an abyss worm. Let's not tell him this. You look down. Oh, no. Success! That was a super quick reaction there. Way quicker than I expected. He looks happy. Flabbergasted, then. That bodes well. It means it's even more flammable than I first thought. I've got a winner on my hands. Just gonna take a swig of my special juice to recharge, and I'll be right back in action. Morris produced a vial of something from his coat pocket and downed it with gusto. Woo! Oh yeah, I can feel my cells supercharging. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? Controlled substance. Pff, no worries there. Can't be controlled if it's not for human consumption in the first place. I'm onto something with this. I swear, it's the perfect pick-me-up after my explosion test. It was meant to be, I tell you.
Alrighty.
What? These science types. What's Professor Aurelie's problem? I asked to study under her and she dismisses me like you're just an arsonist in a lab coat. But what's so wrong about that? It's art. What's more beautiful than great balls of fire? That's what chemistry boils down to. It's the subtle art of making things go boom. Surely a fellow chemist would understand that. Bah. I'm just gonna chug this kerosene. I'm sure that's not what the guy did. doubt. Alright, we can head out this way. But it might just say, we're not allowed up here. It's doing that special painting. White paper.
The breeze here feels so nice.
I mean, it's not that bad at all, isn't it? For a little rest area. And we're obviously not allowed... We totally can go in the observatory, even though that's somewhere we're not supposed to go and there's no one up here. Let me press the button. I want to see into space. One of the great mysteries. I wonder if anyone here knows about, like, the JRPG limitations of the map. Do you know what I mean? I'm interested in this. One of my papers was published in the Scientific Journal Formula last month. It was about a hypothetical social experiment where you gather big data from personal computers and use data science to crunch the numbers. I'm honored that the scientific community received it so well. Even Professor Cronkite gave it a thumbs up. I still want to explore that concept some more though. I really want to use one of the giant orbital calculators they have in the labs here. I just can't. That really grinds my gears. I want to put my paper to practice with some simulations, but consumer-grade computers just don't have the power for it. I tried making a super optimized program for the number crunching I need, but that still wasn't enough. I need something bigger. I really wish I could use the lab facilities here, but they don't open those up to freshmen. I have to wait for those. Just trying to get my hands on one of those huge orbital calculators. So you keep saying. Professor Callahan's kind of freaking me out nowadays. All the other professors say he's a really nice guy though. They talked about how he used to help mentor young researchers at the Institute. They really talking about the same guy though? All I get from him are evil glares like he's fed up with me already. Yeesh. Seeing those wide-eyed Aramis students visiting brings back memories. I came to visit when I was younger, just like them. Crazy how young they look. I'm only 2 or 3 years older than them. I wonder if I looked that young when I visited too. Their uniforms are really cute. Maybe that's what it was. Wait. Why am I ogling them? No, bad thoughts. Bad thoughts. Stop that. What are the names mentioned so far? We had some names that were mentioned. Oh, I thought someone was taking a list. I obviously thought they were and they weren't. Alright, I've got vaguely. There was 3 people mentioned before. I worry for her, I really do, but I just don't have the time to check up on her. Next time I see her, I think I'll recommend her these vitamins I like. I was on the advisory board for them, actually. I do worry about how she's the only woman on her team. I don't want her to feel afraid to speak her mind on anything. Sounds like she's a target. Could be a target of harassment. Yo, Julian, did you get a look at that researcher who just walked by? She was a total knockout. She had that sciencey look to her with the glasses and the messed up hair. It's not just me dreaming, is it? We've got to be a match. Sorry, but I have no idea what you're on about. Is she more beautiful than the Aerotram attendant you were fawning over half an hour ago? Dude, everybody here is a 10. Something about this town, I swear. It's awakening something in me. Lyle, maybe quit while you're ahead. I always assumed the Institute was full of dudes. I didn't know there'd be so many chicks here too. And man, some of them are bombshells. Alright, that settles it. I'm applying to this place. Oh man, the F-side tour was out of this world. I gotta see some vintage memory courts in there. How far we've come, huh? I didn't know that photos and videos were first developed for astronomy. But soon enough, it branched out into other things, and that led to orbital films as we know them today. It's just so cool to see how the medium took off. Glad to hear you're having fun. You bet. I know you're busy with work and all, but you should see the sights yourself, Agnès. I heard the Institute has the largest astral observatory in all of Calvard. I really want to go and see that now. Would we even be allowed inside, though? I've heard much about the Institute of Science, and I must say, it does live up to its reputation. It's the highest seat of learning in Calvard, after all. You have many of the country's brightest minds all under one roof. Won't be able to see the entire thing in one trip, but I hope I can at least catch the highlights while we're here.
Okay.
Okay. What's going on in here? Somehow you can't be chatted with. Oh, you're the guys who helped test my holocore. Thank you. The data you gathered really helped a lot. I work with signals and communications. My project right now studies how they're used in ciphers. I was really honored, honestly. Being able to work alongside Professor Cronkite was just so. Right, so there's one person to speak to that's down there.
Alright.
None of these vending machines have anything new in them. And there's no one down this corridor. So I guess it's time for me to continue solving the requests at the Institute. After I hit the shot, I'll list one person, 2 people. It's such a shame the wonders of fungi go unrecognized. I've been trying to secure funding for my research, but to no avail. I swear, my lab is the only one in the entire biochem building that gets so routinely snubbed. What gives? Professor Esmere, Professor Orly, they're just swimming in grants. The limitless potential of fungi goes untapped for another day. What was me? I just don't understand it. Time and time again they go unnoticed. Not even Tane has anything nice to say about them. What is this? Some bizarre prejudice? Anti-fungism? Is there really no one on this earth who appreciates them like I do? Ah, it's a canteen, is it?
Everybody's gotta eat, right?
Tortillas, eh? Hello there, and welcome to my kitchen. Everyone loves the food we serve here, or at least I thought they did, but we have had one poorly looking diner recently. He works in the special research building, and he's been eating a lot less lately. He looks terrible. He and his assistants always used to have these voracious appetites too. What happened to them?
Indeed.
Well, that makes it sound like it's a guy that's being the harassment.
Alrighty.
Sugar is popular among the researchers here. Eggheads need their glucose. We try to give them a healthy dose without going too overboard. We've been getting a lot of tired-looking visitors lately too, so we're trying to make comfortable, easy-to-digest dishes for them.
What'll it be for today?
Hearty Doria, 1,540 gourmet points. Already had a maple scone and spicy chai tea.
Thanks a bunch.
And then onwards and outwards. Our first person to chat to is here, Kay. Oh, I remember seeing you at that Orbo Cafe in Edith. I live over here in Basel. I didn't expect to see you here too. My family lives over in the capital, so I'm out there a lot both to visit them and due to my civil engineering research. I'll be cooped up here for a while though. I've got a big paper to finish up. She's a student here, huh? We should try talking to her.
Very well.
Okay, didn't have double dialogue.
Can we talk?
Professor abusing their authority, you say? That's a bit of a stretch to me, not gonna lie. I can say for certain that Professor Cronkite and Professor Tane would never do that. It can't be them. Oh, what makes you so sure of that? Well, so Professor Cronkite's a man of few words, so he can come across as kind of scary. But he means well, really. I mean, he's one of the greatest minds of our time. He lives and breathes science. And then Professor Tane is just really friendly to everybody. He's always looking out for people. He's known the world over for his work in civil engineering and urban planning. The Basel Institute of Science certainly earns its reputation. Its faculty are all accomplished scientists and engineers in their own right. Yep, lots of famous people come to study and lecture here. Professor Callaghan's a real celebrity too, Callahan. He's a real whiz when it comes to mechanical engineering. He's the brain behind the military's new weapons. Last I heard, though, his new big proposal got shot down in favor of somebody else's. He didn't really take that very well. But he's bounced back from what I can tell. He's really putting his all into his new project. I'm really humbled to get to work with so many hardworking and talented people. Hardworking and talented people can still be assholes. Are they good people is what we're asking. Could you maybe have phrased that a little less aggressively? Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. You're a big help. Professor Cronkite and Professor Tane are both wonderful people. Professor Callahan calls his institute home too. He's just unbelievably bright. So you're saying that 2 people are wonderful people. Professor Callahan had something shot down recently. Might have been him they're talking about in there. That's the name that's buzzing around currently. This door here leads to the Special Research Building. They do a lot of top secret research in there, so it's close to the general public. Seems this building requires a higher security clearance than the rest of the city. Top secret, huh? Sounds like the perfect place to harass your co-workers and get away with it. Wouldn't jump to conclusions, but yeah, it's worth looking into. Let's ask around and see what the people around here know. Let me in. That guy's smoking in there. I work as an assistant in Professor Archet's lab over there. I've noticed some troubling things coming out of the other labs, though. This one woman, she's looked absolutely drained every day. I wish there was something I could do to help her, but I really shouldn't go butting into other labs' business. I just hope she has someone she can talk to, be it a co-worker, a professor, or someone else. That's a bit fishy there. Might have to ask him about that.
Can we talk?
Really got to pay attention to this. Workplace harassment. Goodness. I've heard these bits and pieces, but I'm a bit nervous to talk about it. You won't tell anyone. Don't worry, anything helps. I've heard loud shouting from one of the other labs, yes. It's done me out of the work I was doing. I heard stuff like, you idiots, can't you do anything right? And you're a disgrace to the Institute, get out. He's just lashing out at everything and everyone now. It's really disturbing. Which professor was the one doing that? I just can't say it. Sorry. If they find out it was me, I'd have hell to pay. It's really annoying me. The abuse is only getting worse and worse from what I'm told. I've heard the works. Fatigue, depression, exhaustion, even a couple of researchers fainting on the job. That whole department looks visibly shaken these days. The stress is just too much for them. I worry they'll all end up like Cindy. Cindy? What happened to her? She's at her breaking point from what I hear. I hardly see her at the Institute anymore. We've all been trying to support her however we can, but it's rough. It really is. Damn, yeah, that's not good. Who's the professor helping her out of curiosity? That would be Professor Esmeralda. She's in the bioengineering department. She's known the world over for her cutting-edge research. A real upstanding woman. She's always up to her neck in her own work, though. She probably doesn't know the extent of the abuse at the other labs. Yeah, thanks for filling us in. This still helps us a lot. Oh man, it's really going to be a... No one's going to tell me who it is, obviously, and I'm going to have to work it out. Somewhat irritatingly. Cindy. Someone to talk to in the room next to this event room. This is Tane. Network engineering is my forte, but I do a lot of work with the civil engineering guys too. Earthquake resistance, grid planning, that sort of thing. Professor Callahan in particular, see, the name keeps coming up. He's been a big help to me. He's been awfully irritable lately, but he's a good person deep down. Maybe he just needs a drink or two to unwind.
Alrighty.
The global network is essential infrastructure now, and cities need to be designed around it. Network signal needs to reach every nook and cranny of the city, so that's lots of cables, lots of antennas, lots of planning. The computer science students here have been a big help with modernizing the grid. You lecturing to no one or just hanging out? In the library here, we have Librarian Venter. If you need anything from me, I'll just be reading here. We do have plenty of papers here, though. I don't know enough about them to make any recommendations. Do handle them with care, though. They're very important papers. Sounds like plenty of students and faculty come his way. That tracks. Maybe he's overheard a word or two about the allegations.
Indeed.
Can we talk?
Huh, a power-tripping professor, you say? Well, if it were anybody, I'd put my money on Cronkite. He's awfully quick to dismiss people, haughty in a word. Kind and helpful aren't exactly synonymous with him, at least, from what I've seen and heard. I see. Have you heard anything about any of the other professors that might relate to these allegations? Let me think now. Well, I can't see Professor Orley doing anything like that. She's just a bundle of sunshine, not a mean bone in her body. Sometimes I even see her in here picking up research materials for her students. Then there's Professor Callahan. He's always made a point of helping out his assistants. He's certainly not a bad person in my view, but he's gotten a bit of a bad rap after his work went south. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We greatly appreciate it. Alright, I think we've come this area over pretty well now. Let's go sit down somewhere and try piecing things together. I recommend that open space at the front of the Institute grounds. I saw some benches there that we could use. Sounds like a plan to me. Gotta go there. I mean, I definitely would be like... Cronkite seems the type to be dismissive. But that doesn't necessarily mean nasty. I think he'd be just the excise type. If you know what I mean.
Alright.
You're not useful to him, he'll just cut you out. I don't think he'd like... I think he's that kind of serious worker. Someone having a bit of stress, though, could be taking it out on people for no reason. Or if, you know, out of character. Alright, we're about ready to sit down and get cracking. Is there anyone else I could go visit? I could have maybe gone and look and seen if I could find Cindy. Well, that was pretty good, isn't it? We got our hands on some nice info there. We learned a lot of professors' names, too. There's Professor Callahan, the Engineering Science Authority, Professor Orley in the Chemistry Department, Professor Cronkite, a well-respected expert in physics and orbital engineering, Professor Tane, an architectural researcher, and then one Professor Esmere over in Bio. They all sounded really capable, but of course the stat sheets don't tell the whole truth. They all sounded like oddballs in their own right. I think we can pretty safely narrow the perp down to one of those 5. I agree. We have pretty strong evidence to suggest that. Right, let's take our evidence from the top then. All the people we talked to, all the testimonies, they all had this one thing in common. Ah, I see what you mean. They tried to downplay the abuse, they had been threatened by the abuser, or they didn't name the abuser. No one tried to downplay the abuse. They were all like people are messed up. Like Cindy. No one, that's not in common, because like one of the people we talked to told us about Cindy told us that. No one had necessarily all been threatened by the abuser by the look of it. They just heard the abuse taking place. So it's obviously, literally, they didn't name the abuser, not only because, yes, that's the theme, that's the answer, but just these two are patently false, too, so it's like not even a choice. Not a single one named the culprit. Some of those guys knew who it was, but it kept sounding like they were too scared to name him. Would have made our job a hell of a lot easier if they just named the guy, but nope. Yeah, now that you mention it, that is kind of weird. I can understand not wanting to be labeled a snitch, but it felt like there was more to it than that. They were afraid of the culprit, but you could tell they respected them too. They didn't want to sully this professor's good name. Some people said the guy wasn't always like that. Something changed them, so it's definitely Callahan, right? Probably the conflict over that proposal we heard about. Something about hard feelings? Leading much blooming game. That one guy said they had to crunch after the proposal fell through. Telltale sign of abuse to me. That does seem likely, though we can't say for certain what changed the professor's behavior. That would be a reasonable explanation. That said, no circumstance justifies such an abuse of power as status. This professor is truly incorrigible. So that's who you think the culprit is? Yeah, you asked me, there's only one professor who fits the bill. I think it's Callahan. On the basis of the fact that he's the one we heard something fall through from. That was down in the dumps in the cafeteria. That seems to have bounced back since. That everyone was saying, he's not a bad guy. If you know what I mean. They respected him. But they were like, he's not bad, honest. But, you know. It's gotta be him. He was the name most mentioned. Mr. Callahan's our guy. He's one of the foremost authorities on engineering science, perhaps the smartest man in the whole field. I've seen him in the papers plenty of times before. He's always described as a savant. Notably, he helped modernize the military's weapons and equipment. But he's got revenge on the mind, sounds like. Some other professor one-upped him, and that's got him pissed. He's not bad, but he does abuse us, yeah. I get it sucks, but you'd think a world-renowned scientist would be less childish about it. You know a thing or two about acting like a child, wouldn't you? I don't know. You usually call me a grandpa. Which is it, bud? Is now the time? So, what do we do now? We have all the recordings of the people we talked to. That all points to Professor Callahan being the suspect. So what's our next move? We hunt down our client next and give them the tapes? I'm thinking we get Professor Callahan's opinion on it without accusing him directly. We nudge him in the right direction, he might just turn himself in. What do you mean? Simple. We tell him about these abuse rumors going around. We talk about all these exhausted students, and he connects the dots on his own. Failing that, well, we already know it's him. He's bound to figure out his reputation's on the line. The more he hears about this, if he's smart, he'll fess up. So that's what we do. We give him a subtle little nudge, and he does all the work elsewhere wanted for us. 2 birds with 1 stone right there. That sounds really scheming. I'm not so sure we're the good guys all of a sudden. Well, it is a quintessentially Spriggan-like way of solving our problem. On me, to the paratroopers lab then. Actually, where is it? I don't remember seeing it while we were taking our tour. I suspect it's in the special research building. We need some form of clearance to enter, of course. We passed by a door with a guard in front earlier. They won't let any ordinary civilian inside. I suspect we would need an A rank card at the very least. It was hard enough for us to get a C rank card. I think getting an A rank one is off the table. What should we do then? Maybe wait for him to leave the building and ambush him? Well, Van's the man with a plan. All that matters is that we get inside the building. Doesn't matter how we do it. And being a Spriggan, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. We're going stealth. Van, kind of scare me with that smile there. We defer to you. What's your strategy, Master Spriggan? So first, we just roll on up to the building like anybody else would. Once we get there, we convince the guard to let us in. Just act naturally and we're golden. Okay. So is it the act like you're supposed to be here strategy? It's sounding like it right now. I am the Professor of Professors, Van Arkride, PhD, DMD, CEO.